Good afternoon, people. This is your boy John Mann, aka the Nap-Headed Assassin, aka I Am Manny's son, aka the Catman, aka the world's worst football prognosticator. Today is the reboot, abbreviated version of the Catman Audibles / Picketh show. For those who are tuning in for the very first time, I do weekly football discussions and picks. You can check out. You can check me out and follow me Instagram, Facebook at Catmann Do Sports. That's CatmannSports. Catmann Do Sports, or at John Man Baby. Also, you can follow me at those locations at YouTube channel as well. John Man Baby at YouTube, Catmann Do Sports at YouTube, John Man Baby Twitch is my Twitch channel. Today's picks, but before we go with today's picks, my playoff record is 5-3. As you can see on the screen, yesterday I was 1-1. Yesterday I was 1-1. I had the Packers and I had the Ravens. I was obviously incorrect with the Ravens, but as far as the Packers game, pretty decent, pretty accurate with that. Aaron Rodgers was phenomenal. I like to say that and point that out. The way they just manhandled Aaron Donald and they manhandled the Rams defense, I didn't see that coming. I knew that they would win, but I didn't think they would dominate to the point that they dominated because the defense normally travels. I just knew that the Rams wouldn't be able to score enough points to keep up with the Green Bay Packers. Rodgers had a pretty decent game. Aaron Jones had a decent game. Adams had a wonderful game as well. Devontae Adams was a beast. They just made Ramsey and that whole secondary look silly. But it was the offensive line, man. It was the first game. I think it was the second time in Aaron Donald's career that he did not have a single win in the pass rush category. They just completely dominated, shut them down, everything like that. I will talk about that more tomorrow with the debut of the daily Catman sports show called the Catman Daily. Give a little bit more details later on in the program. Second game yesterday, Buffalo and the Baltimore Ravens. I had the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, I was wrong about that. I thought Baltimore's defense would dominate, and their defense played pretty well for the most part. Matter of fact, their defense was phenomenal. Both teams' defenses were phenomenal yesterday. The wind was horrible. Josh Allen looked solid. He didn't look too great, but he's solid. He did just enough. Lamar Jackson, he was hot and cold. Threw a late pick that was pretty much the backbreaker of that game. In the end zone. I will go into details about my feelings about the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson and the Greg Roman offense, which I'm not really a particular fan of. But yeah, hats off to Buffalo because Buffalo has exceeded everything that I've said this year. They're in the AFC Championship game, and they'll play the winner of today's game, Cleveland and Kansas City. But yeah, I won't say that I'm surprised or shocked or anything like that what Buffalo's been doing. But I will say that I am kind of shocked what Baltimore did do yesterday. It just seemed like the bigger the game or the bigger the situation, the more conservative that offense becomes. But that's neither here nor there. So like I said, hats off to Sean McDermott and those Buffalo Bills, product of the Andy Reid coaching tree, did wonderful. Baltimore is back to the drawing board. They really have to figure out a couple of things as far as their offensive philosophy. I think Lamar Jackson would be a phenomenal quarterback, but I just don't think that offense is the proper offense for him. But well, we'll see. Enough of that. And like I said, yes, also with the Rams. The Rams offense, they got a good back. Cam Akers looked pretty good. He's going to be the real deal. I had him as my preseason rookie of the year. If you missed my wrap-up show, my season wrap-up show, which you can find on my YouTube channels and anywhere that you download your podcast, you'll see my preseason and my postseason picks. But I did have Cam as the preseason rookie of the year, but he does look like the real deal. Today's games, first game, the early game, Cleveland at Kansas City. Kansas City is coming in as a double-digit favorite, which scares me for the most part. Their offense doesn't look as explosive as it has in the past. Cleveland last week, they beat the brakes. They beat the brakes off of the Steelers last week. They looked Baker Mayfield looked pretty decent. That whole offense was they moved the ball up and down the field. But which was more impressive about Cleveland to me last week was the defense. The defense played pretty well. They had a little stretch where they allowed Ben to get hot and get back into the game, but then everything settled down after that. Also, Kansas City coming off the bye week. Andy Reid has a phenomenal record coming off the bye week. He very rarely loses. It was like that in Philadelphia, definitely like that in Kansas City, as they're trying to repeat. Kansas City is giving up 22 points a game for the season. Cleveland is averaging 25 points a game, which I say that I don't think that's going to change. I think Cleveland is actually going to put points on the board. I believe that this game is going to be a shootout. I don't think Kansas City will slow down or completely stop Cleveland, but I do believe that they will win. I just think that offense is a little bit too potent for Cleveland's defense. The passing attack of Kansas City, but if Cleveland is able to run the ball, that's the only way they will have a chance. If they're able to keep the game in the mid-20s to the low 30s, I believe that they would have a chance to pull off the upset. But I don't. I believe that Kansas City is easily going to score over 30 points. About 35, 38 points against Cleveland, and I think Cleveland will probably score about 28. I think it will be a double-digit win, but it'll be a late score to put it out of reach. I'm impressed with Baker Mayfield. Out of the quarterback class of 2018, which has looked shaky for the first couple of years, but I think we all rush to judgment as far as these quarterbacks nowadays. If they don't produce on day two, we feel that they're a bust or whatever the case may be, but it takes time to develop. And Baker has developed into a pretty good quarterback. The team follows him. He looks like a great leader. The swagger. And not only that, I like his commercials. I like the way that he protects his house. But this is a big test for him, and it's a big test for the Chiefs. For the Browns. They have the opportunity to shock the world, but they do have to move the ball with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb has to be the X factor for this. Kansas City, the X factor for Kansas City. It's not necessarily a true X factor, but it's Patrick Mahomes. And the reason why I say Patrick Mahomes is the X factor for Kansas City is because that I have seen him be a little bit off in games this year. And I've seen him start out slow, and I've seen him start out cold. And I don't think this is the opportunity. I don't think this is the game that he can afford to start slow. Granted that Kansas City can score at will and at any point or whatever. I just believe that Cleveland, the way their offense is designed, they can shorten that clock. They got a powerful running game that can shorten the clock, and I don't believe that that Kansas City can completely stop that running game. My prediction for the Kansas City Cleveland game on the short abbreviated version of the Catmann Picketh is Kansas City 38, Cleveland 28. But like I said before, I am the world's worst football prognosticator. Had a 60% record for the regular season. The playoffs so far, I'm 5-3. Was 1-1 yesterday. Hopefully, I'll get a clean sweep today. Second game I want to talk about real quick because we're about 10 minutes to kick off. Tampa Bay at the Saints. The Saints have swept Tampa Bay this year, beat them both games. Surprisingly, they're only a 3-point favorite at home, and Vegas normally gives the home team 3 points. So basically, what they're saying, it's even, and I would tend to agree with that. I'm not sold on the Saints. I'm just going to put it out there like that. I'm not sold on the Saints. Their offense, Drew Brees, the way that Tampa plays defense, and even though that they have beaten Tampa twice this year, so what I'm about to say is probably going to sound contradictory or probably hypocritical. But the way Tampa's defense has been playing over the last couple of weeks, I don't think Drew Brees had the arm to stretch the field, and I think they need to stretch the field to beat Tampa today. The X factor for the Saints is Drew Brees. They have to protect him, and they have to get the ball. They definitely have to get the ball out quickly. short, methodical drives. Um, Short passes with methodical drives, rather, will be the key against this Tampa defense. Now with the Bucks, Tom Brady, some people call him the GOAT. I don't call him the GOAT, but the longer he plays, the more and more and more it looks like he is becoming the GOAT. Another phenomenal year for Mr. Brady. For those who are just checking in, I had Tampa playing in the NFC Championship game at the beginning of the season. I had Tampa winning the division, and I had the Saints finishing second. They flip-flopped. So I was incorrect about that, but I still have a chance to be correct about Tampa making it to the NFC Championship game. But full disclosure, I had them playing against Seattle, but we saw how that went. But to the game with the Bucks, the X factor for the Bucks is Leonard Fournette. Bruce Arians does not like to run the ball. That's just a given. He does not like to run the ball, but he has a horse and Fournette that will open up the passing game. If Fournette gets 18 or more carries, if Fournette gets 18 or more carries in this game, they will easily beat the Saints. If he gets less than 18 carries, then it's just going to be a dogfight all the way through. Because we know that Brady can give the ball away at times, as he has done earlier this year, especially against the Saints. The Saints has been his kryptonite this season, and that's why it's just vitally important for the Bucks to run the ball and take some of that pressure off of Brady. But the weapons that Brady has, that passing attack, I believe is going to be lethal. I do have a second X factor for the Bucks, and that is Chris Godwin. I expect him to have a huge day. And I'll go on a limb and say that he'll have eight catches and about $115 in receiving and 2 touches. My prediction for the Saints Buccaneers game, I have Tampa beating the Saints on the road by the score of 31 to 27. So that's the Bucks beating the Saints 31-27. I have the Chiefs beating the Browns 38-28. Thank you for paying attention. If you missed any part of my prediction show, you can like I stated earlier, you can check me out on all major platforms as far as where you download your podcast. It's under the show, the Catmann Audibles. That's Catmann Audibles / Picketh show. Don't be afraid to subscribe to my channels. Twitch, which is John Man Baby. YouTube, John Man Baby. And also Catmann Do Sports, which is CATMANNDO Sports. One word. You can see it all at the bottom of the scroll. Also, starting tomorrow, starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time, which is 5 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock in Mountain Time, 2 for the people on the West Coast. I am starting my daily sports show, the Catmann Daily, where I'll be talking, recapping in detail this weekend's playoff games. Also, I would give my predictions. Well, not necessarily my predictions, but discuss certain topics, um, especially Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, because I want to dig deep into that tomorrow. In the debut of the Catmann Daily, which is an all sports show. I know the Catmann Picketh and Audibles is football related, but the Catmann Daily is sports, all sports related. Also, I'm going to dig deep into the Philadelphia Eagles coaching search. My opinions about that. I'm a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan. For those who do not know, also a diehard Penn State Nittany Lion fan. But I'll go into the details in regards to the coaching search for the Philadelphia Eagles and the possibility of them hiring somebody this week. Thank you for paying attention. Enjoy today's kickoff. Chiefs, Browns, and Arrowhead first. And later on this evening, Saints, Bucks. Once again, I had the Chiefs beating the Browns 38-28. And I have the Buccaneers beating the Saints 31-27. Check me out tomorrow, Catmann Daily. Going live 4 p.m. Central. You see these picks. If I'm wrong or whatever the case may be, you can chime in, rag on me, whatever the case, or whatever you want to say to your heart's delight. Thank you once again. Have a safe and wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.